If you're looking for a serious relationship in SF, this video might be able to help you. Hello everyone, so today we're going to talk about dating seriously in SF. I'm currently no longer in a dating game anymore, but I was dating during COVID, and after a year-ish, I found my current partner. We've been together for 2 years. So I was on dating apps. Overall for women, it's not that hard to find matches, but it still took me a while before I found the right person. And it felt like my emotions were kind of like a roller coaster. Some days it was fun, but there are still times that I ended up feeling pretty numb or like frustrated overall. But I think it was worth it just based on where I'm at right now. Here are some of the things that I think might help you based on my personal experience if you're looking for something serious in SF. First of all, before you start dating, I highly recommend you to read this book called The 5 Love Languages. I swear to God, there's gonna be at least one person who's gonna ask you what is your love language. And I think it definitely helps if you know what your love languages are, because it will just help you find someone that is probably a little bit more compatible. The second thing I've observed is that you can date multiple people at the same time in SF. I don't know if this is influenced by the tech interviewing culture or what, where you interview at multiple companies at the same time, but here for me, I think like dating definitely feels like interviewing to some extent, and when none of the parties are super invested at the beginning stages, it's okay to see multiple people at the same time just to speed up this process. There's pros and cons for doing this. Not everyone's super comfortable with this idea of seeing multiple people at the same time, but if you decide to do it, honesty is the best policy. If you feel like someone's getting serious with you, you should definitely disclose to them if you're seeing other people at the same time. Choosing the right dating app is also pretty important. I'll say if you're looking for something serious, you definitely want to skip the hookup apps like Tinder. I'm not saying you wouldn't find someone serious on Tinder. I heard stories where people got engaged after meeting on Tinder. It's just the probability is probably a lot lower. I personally would recommend Bumble because that's what worked for me. There's definitely a mixture of serious people and not serious people on there, but you will have to fill that out so you actually know what they're looking for. Other serious dating apps would be something like Coffee Meets Bagels. I also heard there's dating groups on Facebook like Subtle Asian Dating if you're interested in certain groups of people. Facebook also has their own dating app, but it's terrible. A few years ago, I tried using it myself. Their filters are awful, and they have a lot of scammer profiles on there, like fake profiles. So you do end up having a lot of profiles for you to swipe or look through. However, you just don't get really good quality matches on there, and you just end up wasting a lot of your time. If you end up choosing this route of using apps, you should definitely set up a really good profile. Sadly, these apps are designed to be kind of superficial because you have so many profiles to choose from, and most of the people, I'll say, only spend a few seconds just to look at pictures and decide whether they're attracted to you or not. You want to pick photos that are flattering but not heavily filtered, especially in the Bay Area where people dress so casually. I think having super heavy filters will make you look kind of fake. And also, if you show up and you look totally different from your photos, this is not gonna last. Pick photos that show your hobbies and personality. If you're into outdoors or you like traveling, definitely pick photos that show you're doing things outdoors or you're traveling. If you like partying and going to raves, then definitely post photos of that too. Because people who have similar interests who are not initially attracted to you might be attracted to you because you have similar interests as them. After that, definitely spend some time filling in the description so this allows the other person to know more about you as a person, and if you're funny and interesting, you might end up getting a date. After you get a match and you start talking, maybe you should ask questions that are a bit more personalized or more spontaneous, funny, interesting, instead of asking general questions like, oh, what do you do for work? What do you do off work? Because if the person that you're interested in gets a lot of matches and people ask the same exact question all the time, it's gonna get really boring real fast. and you want to stand out, then you should ask something that's different. If the chat goes on smoothly, before you go on a date, I would recommend doing a video call or a phone call so that you can pick up more cues about this person through these platforms. Though you should still treat this as the first date, so definitely dress up a little bit. I'm not saying you have to dress fancy or what, but at least you have to look clean and neat and presentable. And look for a place that is well lit so the other person can actually see you. And do not show too much skin. This goes for both guys and girls. I've been on this one call back then with a guy who just showed up topless, and I was like, first of all, this makes me feel extremely uncomfortable. I don't know where to look at. Second of all, who goes on dates topless? Like, just wear clothes that are appropriate. For your first in-person date, pick public activities that allow you to talk to this person and ask questions. You definitely want to treat it like an interview. The other reason that you want to pick somewhere public is because you want to make sure that this is not a serial killer. You also want to prevent spending too much money on your first date because you're still testing out the waters. You don't know if this is gonna work out yet. And if you brought this other person to a Michelin restaurant on your first date, your opportunity cost is gonna be super high, especially for guys who end up paying the first bill. And dating in SF is really expensive. You do not want to spend too much on your first date. You can definitely adjust that to later, maybe like on your second or third date, you invest a little bit more and then more and then more as the relationship gets more serious, but definitely do not do that on your first date. Last but not least, it takes two to mingle, so you want someone who is at least equally interested in you. If you end up being ghosted or someone doesn't reply to you that often, or they promise you things but they don't follow through, then just keep dating. And if someone tells you from the get-go that they're just not into something serious right now and you're into something serious, doesn't matter how attracted you are to them. You should just skip, just date someone else, because you deserve someone who is as serious as you are. And don't think about changing this other person. There's gonna be someone who's already ready for this. This is the end of the video. I hope this was somewhat helpful, and I hope that you have a great time while you're dating, have a lot of fun, and find the right person for you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below. If you want to support my channel, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.